everyone, I'm a tailorette, a historical costumer and creative sewist, and today I'll be talking about my DDL 8700 Juki industrial sewing machine. So basically, I will be giving a review on what I think about it. I absolutely love it. I don't regret any purchase that I've made on this machine. It is definitely worth it because it is super sturdy. It is made of solid metal, and so that means that all the parts will not be falling apart easily. Unlike a home sewing machine, there are a lot of parts that are being made out of plastic. This is solid metal, which actually shows for it because when you pick it up from wherever you're purchasing it from, it's not like it just has a handle on top like your basic home sewing machine where you can just carry it out of the store. You have to have a few people actually help you carry this out of the store or wherever you're buying it. You usually don't find these in a store. I bought this from a local distributor nearby and they put it together, which was really nice, and they showed me how to use it, how to oil it, and how to thread it and everything. And then I had to haul it home in one of my SUV cars. So anyways, that is super cool. It also is really powerful. So it can go 4,500 stitches per minute. So 4,500 stitches per minute. Plus it also can go over some pretty thick seams. If you have, those bulky seams that seem to get jammed up in the sewing machine, you can actually just run right over them with this machine. It won't break the needle and it won't jam up. And that is what I love about it too, is it not only sews over thicker things like thick fabrics, it can sew over lightweight fabrics. I've used some shears on here and it works really well. You just have to have the right needle. But yeah, it works really great and it doesn't get chewed up in the machine. You tend to think, oh wow, something like that do things get chewed up? Well, because it has a tiny hole down here where the needle goes up and down, fabric doesn't get stuck in there as much, and if it does, I would say there's probably some issues with how you're actually operating a sewing machine. There are habits that I have learned over the years that you can develop that actually end up jamming your machine, and actually you could be the problem of why your machine is jamming up. Depending on the machine, sometimes it is the machine's problem. I would say 70% of the time it is the machine's problem that there's jamming up going on if you have a cheap one, which I have another video on that, so you'll have to hop on over, link in the profile below on my recommendations on home sewing machines. And this machine can sew miles and miles without burning out. Whereas a home sewing machine, you could sew a ton of things on it and it would get overheated and burn out. Whereas this, if you are running a business, this is probably more your option that you want to do, like bridal alterations. This is really helpful for that because you're dealing with thick layers, and it won't burn out if it runs over a bead or something. This machine stitches 4,500 stitches per minute. So I will show you what that looks like really quick. What is really cool is it stops immediately when you take your foot off the pedal. So let me go backwards. There you go. So as you can see, it's going really fast. It stops. So if you stop, it's not like it's going to keep rolling. It'll control it. So if you're getting your finger stuck, it's not like it's going to keep going through your finger, if you know what I mean. So you also might be wondering, that's kind of scary that it goes so fast. I don't want to have to do that. Well, if you go down here, you can actually make the stitches a little bit lower. So if you don't want to do 4,500 stitches per minute, you can actually make it go slower, kind of as like a safety thing. Or 600. There we go. Okay. Okay, so as you can see, I know I've stitched over this like 100 times, but I'm pushing the pedal all the way down right now, and that's as fast as it will go. So it controls how fast it can go. So if you have a child that's sewing on this machine, that shouldn't be a problem, because if you want to turn it down really low, they won't go out of control. About this foot though is it does have this guard, so it's a lot harder to get your fingers up in there, and if you are, you're pretty much just gripping the whole thing, which is not a good idea, and that's not a good sewing technique either. And also here is the back and forth on the machine. I think that's really cool. It's easy to push and it's just right there. So as you're sewing, you just kind of like this, up and down. And then you have your threading here. This is your tension on your thread. This determines how tight the thread on top is actually pulling it. Here are also the dials for adjusting the stitches on the sewing machine, which is really convenient, and it's really just straightforward. It's just a dial. So also it has a clutch down here, And this clutch right here actually controls the foot right here. So if we push this over like that, it'll lift the foot. So while you're sewing, you can lift the foot up and down. It's like multitasking. It does have a side lever here to pull the foot up and down, but this does not go as high. This is just a little bit lower, so you can put it up and down through here. But this down here kicks it up a notch, just a little bit higher. So if you have really bulky seams, you can fit quite a bit down there. It's really cool. Also, the foot pedal is a little bit larger, so yeah, I kind of like that. I like bigger things. So also this holds larger thread cones, and as you can see, here's the bobbin thread. It actually winds down there. So if you can see that, it goes down and you can wind it while you're sewing. That is really cool. And this is your cone. It does thread a little bit differently, which is not a huge deal, but so this is how I wind the bobbin. The thread comes up down under and around that little round thingy, and then goes onto this, and I push the pedal. Wind it really fast. So also, you're probably wondering where the bobbin is. I kind of just take a pair of scissors, and you can't really see very well, but there's your bobbin. And to actually thread your bobbin, that's where you thread it. So you have to go underneath the table, and you can see up. There's the foot of the table, or the foot of the machine. Yeah, so there's your bobbin. So you do have to go underneath like this and put your bobbin in. But if you can't see very well as you're putting it in, you can kind of see from up here if you're doing your bobbin right. The threading is a little bit different, but just like with anything, it's worth learning how to do that. And I actually found that this threading here is actually done on a lot of vintage machines, which I find really interesting because I think vintage machines are much better quality. And I think it's interesting how they went back to that design. And it also has this built-in light, which is really nice because as you turn it on at nighttime, if it's really dark, I don't get good lighting in my room. So that is really helpful too. And then it also comes with most, I haven't bought one without one, but if you get one of these machines, make sure it comes with a table because this does not sew without a table. So that would be a little bit awkward because it comes with the cone thread and everything. And then, yeah. I was actually told by a YouTube video that I was supposed to oil it through one of these little holes here, and I actually believed them for the longest time. So that's how I was oiling my machine, which actually partially saved my other one. But actually how you're really supposed to oil it is lift this guy up underneath, and that's your oil pan. So it looks like it's actually kind of on low. I need to fill it up a little bit, but that is how you keep this machine oiled, is at the bottom. So that is all I have to say for today about my Juki sewing machine. If y'all have questions, please leave them in the comment section below. I would love to be able to answer them. Also, if you have ideas of what you would like to see coming out on my channel, please let me know. I am always open to suggestions. Please leave comments about that. I really want to know what you guys want to see on my channel. Also, hit that subscribe button and like this video, and I will see you next time. And maybe this will help you make a decision. Hey, Bambi. You'll be hearing my bird in the background, so if you hear like a bird noise, that's bamboo. Or, yeah, it is super efficient in bamboo. This will just pump them right through. Hey, that's enough. I can't even see the Come on, man. You done yet? Come on, bamboo, come on. It's better to use, hey, that's enough. You know, I'm trying to do my YouTube video here. Come on. Now, when you see, you know what? That's enough. You're going in the other room.